haven't done an update in a while. He's installing. Hard to see in here, but he's chugging away. But we found a bunch of bad tiles in both the wall and the floor tiles. So I gotta send back, I've been sifting through like all the box of tiles. You can see these random black dots, almost like paint dots on the tile. And then a lot of the polished ones are chipped in the corners. Maybe the tile guy can save them when he's doing his cuts. That's like the potential save pile over there. But yeah, so far half the tiles are probably bad, and I have to go pick up new tiles tomorrow all the way down to Rockland and get them. And we're gonna see what we can do. I think they don't even give me enough of them, so I gotta hackle with them and ask them more. So we've got a tile problem going on, and then we also have a couple other issues pop up. So originally I was planning on putting a window here, and then we started digging away at the sheetrock, and there's a pipe there. There's a vent for like the main plumbing system, which is like right over here in this wall in the corner there. And I thought that was the vent for the sink as well. But once we dug this out, we found an actual vent for the sink. So that vent's right over here. And now I pretty much can't put a window there, maybe a smaller window, or I have to move the plumbing, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, I think I'm just gonna change the layout a bit. So now I'm gonna put the stove and the hood vent over there. So that's another big change. I was over here till like 10 o'clock at night the other day trying to like lay out a new layout essentially. So now you're gonna walk in. So now my friend Zach talked me into taking out this entire wall. So it's gonna start where the doorway is. So this trim will come off and the wall will stay there at the little half wall or tiny wall here because I need the outlets. I don't want people to walk in and step off the edge here. So that will stay, but the door trim will all come off. And then from here, all the way over will come out halfway up. So the half wall will stay, waist high wall, but this will all come out all the way over here up until about 16 inches because there's like a bump out thing over there for the plumbing I mentioned a minute ago that has to stay. So the top half of the wall will all be gone. I'm having a meeting with the kitchen guy on Tuesday to redo the layout. So then basically the breakfast bar thing will go from, I'll do a real quick layout. Breakfast bar comes out, sits on top of a cabinet, a 12-inch cabinet. Goes all the way across, you get 3 or 4 seats right here to look into that way. Breakfast bar ends here, actually ends here. And then this will be open wall. You could actually stand over here and walk over here and kind of interact with people in the living room. And the half wall stays there. There's a 12-inch cabinet right here. And then a 30-inch stove right there with a hood vent above it. And then another cabinet, because there needs to be a cabinet between the stove and the sink. Sink, dishwasher, same spots as they used to be. And then this is all countertop that it used to, same as it used to be all the way around. So the hiccups that we ran into were changing the layout. The stove was going to be over here originally, and the hood vent. But we had to move it over here because I can't put a window there now. And so that's one change, moving the stove, making the hole much bigger because this is non-load bearing. I don't know if that was an update I provided at some point, but friend Zach came over, looked at this with me. We looked at it like 3 or 4 times. He's gonna come back and look at it again, just to triple check, but we're 99% sure this is not load bearing, so we're gonna take out as much as we can. So a lot of that's coming out now. So that's another change. And then I've got a rat's nest over here that I'm dealing with now. I'm trying to figure out this electrical. So there's a lot more electrical in this wall now that we took the drywall off than I expected. I didn't expect this box to be here, this other box to be here. Some of it's gonna go away, but it might be just slightly over my head trying to do this electrical work with my dad. So we might be calling somebody in. We're gonna try to investigate further tomorrow to decide if we can do the electrical ourselves or if I need to get a pro in here. Like I can do small stuff, like we swapped out a light fixture. That's no big deal. Maybe swap an outlet or switch. You know, some very small things, easy. But a lot of this actually is removal. So we're just hacking out. There's a light over there we're gonna hack out. We don't need this microwave box. That's gonna hack out. Maybe even one of the outlets. No, we need that outlet. That's an extra outlet that could come out. The other really big problem that I'm seeing now that I don't know what to do about is this window. So we're adding window here and a window here. Used to be a window there, but no longer a window, it's gonna be a stove. But going back to this window, now that I've seen, we were almost positive there was no header behind this window, which there really should be a header from here to there. I just don't know. So the inspector is going to come in here, the building inspector, and he's going to see my new header, which we're going to do it the right way. We're going to put steel beams, steel beam here. My friend Zach, again, helped me with that. Steel beam there. And he's going to come over here, the inspector, and sign up on the steel beams here and hopefully be okay with those. But he's going to also see this. And I don't know what I have to fix, if I'm obligated to fix. I mean, it's been here for 25 years. So I think he has some like leniency to deem it okay, but I don't know if I should call him next week and just say, can you look at this? Because if he's going to make me fix it, I would do things differently is the problem. So like, instead of putting in a 4-foot steel beam here, I might ask my friend Zach to help me do I don't know what that is, 10-foot steel beam to do the whole thing. But then the window has to all come out, and maybe, I mean, it's an Anderson window, so maybe we could put it back in, but it'll change the height, which means like the outside, all the shingles and everything have to be redone in some spots. So that's a little update for now. I'll keep you guys posted on how the weekend goes, but yeah, so I guess this is why you hire general contractors. Good to know. I don't know if I can do Airbnb anymore because I guess there's like this Massachusetts Affordable Homes Act that was passed in like August of 2024. And it gives a bunch of money towards like, you know, bunch of funding to like basically create more housing supply, which is great and fine, I understand, that makes sense. But buried in that act was these new rules for ADUs, accessory dwelling unit, which is technically what this house is. It's a little house next to my main house. And they basically want to allow you to create more ADUs. They're just trying to create more housing supply. So like most places are single family residential, and I'm talking out of somewhere I don't really know what I'm talking about, so I'm sure people will correct me if I'm wrong, but these ADUs, they want people to put ADUs in their backyard so they can create more housing supply, and like maybe the parents can move to the ADU and the kids can move in the house and they can stay in the area longer, create better communities, and just create more houses. They're allowing people much easier to build ADUs in their yard. The only gotcha is they made it optional for the towns to amend this new thing where they can decide that they're not allowed to do short-term rentals in these ADUs. So now my town is gonna have a vote at the town meeting in April to ban short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBO, in ADUs. So there's a chance I actually can't do an ADU. There was a town meeting thing last night. There's another one in a couple weeks. People making good arguments for against this, so removing it from the ballot question because there's only one like hotel/inn in our town, and it's closed in the wintertime. So like there's no place for people to stay. So we kind of need Airbnbs. We need places for people to stay if they come to visit for, you know, weddings and stuff like that. They have to exist. So they understand that we need more housing supply, and short-term rentals aren't good for the housing supply. But it doesn't mean we don't need rentals. We don't need hotels and places for people to stay temporarily. So that was a good reason why they should stay. So we'll see. There's a chance that we can't Airbnb this and we have to do a longer-term rental, which isn't the end of the world. We will maybe do that anyway. So I won't know, I guess, until potentially April if we can or not. So we'll see. This applies retroactively, I believe, to existing ADUs, accessory dwelling units. So like if people have already spent money to like renovate or put the infrastructure in place to do short-term rentals, now that's just taken away from them. They can't do that anymore. They have to do a long-term rental. So that kind of stinks. So I could understand maybe if they did it for the net new ADUs that they would not allow short-term rentals, but to apply it to existing ones is kind of crazy to me. So we'll see. Stay tuned on that as well. So we're going to just do some random stuff today, just trying to get ready. I'll do an update later today on a bunch of changes that have happened in here since the last time you guys have seen it. Mostly behind the scenes, paperwork type of stuff and stuff like that. But today we're just gonna do some random stuff. Like I just gotta get some stuff cleaned up, organized. We're gonna try to do some painting. in here, because if we paint this room, then hardwood floors are good to go in here. So we're gonna do some painting. I might go up in the attic. I gotta fix up some electrical up there. A bunch of random stuff today. Alright guys, first things first, we're gonna prep this room for paint. So Rachel painted the ceiling last weekend. That's all good to go. We're gonna do the walls. Walls are in pretty rough shape. There's an old shelf there and a bunch of other dings and scratches. So I'm gonna do another sanding coat, and then I'm gonna do another patching coat, and then we'll probably do one more sanding coat, and then it'll be ready for some paint, hopefully. Wipe down the walls first, obviously. But that's the plan on this one. Alright, that's kind of prepped and ready to go. It's gonna wait for the compound to dry 24 hours. We'll do one more, maybe sand, and then wipe down tomorrow and paint those walls. And this room should be ready for flooring. Give you an update on the tile. This was a disaster. So to give you a little sneak peek, Andrew's been working in here. He's very meticulous. He's doing a good job. It's taking a while, but he also had to go to another job midway through the job. So he's working in here. I can't show you the shower stall. I don't think I ever updated that we could not do kind of the wet bar area thing, wet area of the tub. It's kind of tough to show you with this doorway because it was going to be super complicated. The Schluter drain, you need to buy like a long bar drain, and it's like $600 for like the piece of metal, aluminum, whatever it is, for the drain cover alone. Plus like all like this Schluter waterproofing system is like another 600 bucks. Plus I was gonna have to tile the walls. It was getting to be like an extra, I don't know, probably $2,000 or $3,000 just to do the wet bar area thing. Or wet area, I keep calling it wet bar. And it was gonna be super expensive. So we're just doing the shower. The tub is still going in that corner over there. Shower's around the corner over behind this wall. And that vanity's staying there, toilet's going there. Shout out to Zach for helping me a ton on the windows. So he just sent me over the drawings. I'll splice those into the video. So he sent me the drawings for this window, and this window last night, and the beam drawings and all that stuff. So I think I'm going to be pulling a permit for my windows on Monday. And then Scott, my handyman's going to help me install those. We got to order some steel beam headers. I'm going to order those probably Monday or Tuesday of next week, hopefully. The thing is, a lot of this electrical, particularly for this window, has to be out of the way. So like, if I get desperate enough, I might start just ripping back some of the electrical just to get it moved so I can get the windows framed in here, and then have the electrician kind of put it all back together and make it to code from there. But this one's good, so like he could start right here, no problem. So I'm going to pull the permit on Monday. Hopefully Situate approves it and lets me do it. And we can start framing these windows out. Like I said, shout out to Zach, and actually Amy helped. I think she reviewed his plans, and I mean, I think he had it pretty well nailed the first time, but they both combined efforts and gave me some great plans on adding a beam to each of these spots, so I can put a nice window in. You know, the reason we're doing a steel beam is because these windows, this window most likely does not have a header in it. So as Zach says, they're out in space, or whatever his fancy structural term is, and they're not being supported by anything. So there's only 3 inches of room here. So actually no, it's like 4 inches, whatever, off the ceiling. We want, at the end of the day, we want these windows to align at the same height as these existing windows. So we needed a small steel beam header, a 4x4 essentially, up along the top there. That way all the windows, the tops of the windows align across and not like some aren't higher than others or out of whack. So that's the reason why we're doing steel beam headers on these two windows. This one doesn't really matter as much. I actually want these to be lower because I want it to align with that door. So this we might use like a 2x8 or cripples or something like that. But shout out to Zach for all the help on that stuff. Alright, gonna do some prep work on these baseboards. I want to get the nails out of them just because it's dangerous that people are walking around and there's just boards with big nails sticking up. So I want to get the nails out of them. I'm going to fill the holes with wood filler and then maybe give a pass on sanding them. Some of them I've already filled. Sand them down and then just start to get those prep work done for painting these eventually and just to get them out of the way and cleaned up. So I'm going to work on that for a little bit. Hey guys, okay, I have to go up in the attic and I hate going up the attic. I got a few things I gotta do. I have to staple a junction box and some Romex to some framing because it's laying in insulation. And I want to go look to see, check to make sure that the exhaust vent will be okay up there. So I'm going to be working like right around this ceiling area over here. I've never brought you guys up there, but it's a pain, so I'll bring you guys along for the ride and check it out if we can. There's a whole bucket worth of equipment. I don't know how I'm going to bring everything with me, but we'll see. Alright, let's go. Alright. Alright, we're probably over the kitchen right about now. And the first thing I'm going to look for is to see if I can see the kitchen, the vent. So there's the chimney right there. Now the vent should be right around over here. Unfortunately, I do not see it. I should have measured off that back wall. That was stupid. I might have to run back down and get that measurement. Let's see. I need like a rake or something. So it's behind this insulation. I just can't see down there, and I don't want to crawl down there because there's no platform unlike this little path I have here. So I might need to go back and get like some sort of, actually I'm gonna go get my lungs. I'll be right back. Alright, making progress. Slowly but surely. Alright, now the wire comes down over here. And the stuff light is right around here, I think. Oh, if I just run it down the backside over here, probably, yeah. Got plenty of Romex. It'll be fairly clear to the next guy that comes in here where it is. Alright, there's a decent amount of slack there, that's okay, thanks. That's as good as it's gonna get. You get everything? I think so. While I'm here, I should put a couple of screws. This thing always pops up like that. This big flat pack. I'm meaning to for a long time. Put screws in here to keep it in place. So while I got a drill, I might as well do that. Just 2 screws, that's all I need. Keep this thing in the same spot. One screw is probably enough. Alright, that fixes that. Let's get out of here. Get rid of this saw first. Actually. Whoa. I left my broom back here. Got it. That sucked. So that's where we were. Let me turn this off. Alright, so what I know is, I'm just testing this off camera. I know the circuit that this outlet is on, and this outlet. Let me go back to the beginning. The problem we're trying to solve. I mentioned this probably earlier, but to mention it again. I got these 2 wires coming down here. So I'm guessing one comes from unknown, and the other one goes back up. Comes across over here, drops back down here. It's an outlet on the living room side. It's a switch and a light on the living room side. I need all that out of the way because this half wall is coming down. So I need to find the beginning of this wire so I can disconnect it and make all of this dead, and just, I can rip out as much as I can, but for the most part I can leave it up in the attic. Just we can abandon the wire. So I just need to find the beginning because I just need to disconnect it. I checked these other outlets, what circuits they're on, and there's one on this table. You can't see it, but it's on a different circuit. I actually had a hunch that it was over there, and that was the beginning of the circuit. And up top in the skies, the wire went across over here and came back down. It just buried on the insulation, I can't find it. But now I'm thinking it comes up maybe over here because this outlet is on the same circuit as that wire coming down in this outlet here. So I'm gonna take this outlet apart and maybe I can just test it by if there's a black wire in there, and like there's two sets of black wires, so like it's not a dead end outlet, which it can't be, I don't think. There's a good chance that it's the wire going back up right around here, somehow getting over here, and then coming back down over here. That's my hunch. I'm sure an electrician has a much better way of doing this. I should just leave it to him to figure out, but I'm so curious that I'm just gonna do it. So let's see. Let's take a look. All right, shouldn't have any juice, no lights, no lights. That's okay. I can't find this wire coming up in the attic. These are in the basement, which is surprising. I'll go look again. Because this circuit, unless it comes from the bathroom somewhere, should come up around this area. Bump screw's coming out no problem. It's the top one. There's a metal box, which I think is a good sign that it's old wiring. Well, yeah. So you got two black wires coming in here. That's a good sign. It's the other end of that wire. This outlet, I'm not going to touch that black wire because that black wire is going to be temporarily live. This circuit should be on. I flip the breaker on, and those ones should all be off. Unless I have it backwards, depending on how the wire came in the box. I'm just kind of guessing. If this doesn't work, we'll switch the wires. And that will prove we found the other end of that circuit, hopefully. All right, let me go flip the breaker. Keep an eye out for a fire. Circuit is back working again. This wire is actually live right here, the black one. Oh wait, it's not live because I disconnected from the outlet. This black wire is live. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay, so now let me go just check these outlets. I'm really curious. I'll bring you guys to the right. So this should be dead. Perfect. Okay, that makes no sense to me.